Hello everyone. So even after that major incident of train hijacking by Baloch Liberation Army in Balochistan and the counter operation by Pakistani army, the terrorist or insurgent attack in Balochistan are not stopping. And hence it is very significant for us to know in detail what is the problem in Balochistan, why there is so much of insurgency prevalent in Balochistan, what is the history of it, because this issue of insurgency in Balochistan, it just does not affect the Pakistan, but it affects the region as a whole, the South Asian region as a whole. And hence in this video we are going to discuss about the issue of insurgency in Balochistan. So starting with the history of Balochistan, you see, even though the history of Balochistan is very old, we will be studying about in modern times how has been the history of Balochistan. Before we discuss the history part, let's first see where is Balochistan located. You see, this is the country of Pakistan, and in Pakistan the biggest province of Pakistan, which is roughly more than 40% of the territory or geographical region of Pakistan, is this state is Balochistan. Now Balochistan or Baloch people, they don't just live in Pakistan. Some of the region of Balochistan, it is with Iran, some part of it is with Afghanistan as well, but the majority of Baloch, they live in Pakistan. I hope this is clear that Balochistan as a region, it is not just limited to Pakistan, it is there, some part of it is there is Afghanistan, some part of it is there with Iran. Now you see, Balochistan, it is primarily a desert area, but it also has access to sea. As you can see it here, they have a large coastline as well. If we discuss about the history of Balochistan, you see, Baloch people, they are also divided into various tribes, and hence for a very long period in ancient and medieval times, they were not very united. For the first time, a leader, Nasir Khan, tried to unite, or he became little successful also in mid 18th century. He could unite the people of Balochistan. But this union of Baloch people, it was a very loose union, right? When British, they came to power in India or Indian subcontinent, they took advantage of this loose union. They used their policy of divide and rule, and in 1870s, British, they took control over Balochistan. In 1880s, British, because of the continuous rebellion by Baloch people, they divided Balochistan into various princely states, right? So British, they took control over Balochistan, but they because of the rebellion by Baloch people, because they are not accepting the rule of British, they adopted the policy of non-interference, and they converted the whole region of Balochistan into small princely states. One very famous princely state is the princely state of Kalat, right? Apart from these princely states, British also kept few small territories of Balochistan with themselves. You see, Balochistan, it was very significant for British, reason being, if we can see it here, if we can see in the geography part here, you see, Balochistan, it shares a large border with Afghanistan as well as Iran. At that time in India, British, they were facing a threat from another colonial expansionist power, namely Russia. So Russia under Tsars, they were also expanding their colonial rule, and Russia was expanding towards southern part of Asia as well. And hence it was very important for British to protect its colonial interest here in India from British, and hence they wanted to create here a buffer zone in Afghanistan between Russia and Britain or British India, right? And hence if they wanted to make Afghanistan as a buffer zone, they wanted or they needed to have control over Balochistan region as well. So I hope why Balochistan was very significant for British, because Balochistan could act as a frontier state between India, British India and Russia. So in 1880s, British, they could divided Balochistan into 4 of princely states, and they took some small territories directly ruled by them. Now, if we come to the time of independence in 1947, when British, they were leaving India, as the opportunity given to other princely states, the princely state of Balochistan, they also had the same options, either to join Pakistan or to join India or to remain independent, right. So, this was the choice given to all princely states, not just to princely states of Balochistan. Now, among the various princely states of Balochistan, the princely state of Kalat, it wanted to remain independent, right. So, in fact, during the early 1947 or late 1946, even Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the Qaid-e-Azam of Pakistan, he also supported for independence of Kalat or Balochistan as a whole, right. When later on Balochistan decided to remain independent, initially in 1947, Pakistan did not object, but as time passed, in March 1948, Pakistan used force to include or to merge even Kalat, one of the princely state of Balochistan, into Pakistan. So, if we discuss why there is insurgency in Balochistan, there are so many factors behind it. The major factor is the political reasons, and among political reasons also, the way it was forcefully merged, Balochistan was forcefully merged into Pakistan, that is one major reason. So, in 1947, August 1947, when Balochistan became or the princely state of Kalat, it became an independent country. It even had its constitution for few months, right. They had their own parliament, they had their own constitution, but in March 1948, Pakistan broke its promise and they used force to merge Balochistan with itself. This event led to insurgency, rise of insurgency in Balochistan. The next phase of insurgency in Balochistan was in 1955. At this time, what happened was, Pakistan came up with something called as one unit scheme. What is one unit scheme? As you all must be knowing that in 1947, when Pakistan became an independent country, Pakistan had two territories, right. One was towards west of India, West Pakistan. One was towards east of India, East Pakistan. Now, the thing is, population of East Pakistan was higher or more than population of West Pakistan, and hence the leaders in West Pakistan, they thought that because the population of East is more, over the parliament of Pakistan, right, there will be more representation from East Pakistan, and hence they thought of reducing the representation of East Pakistan in Pakistan as a whole. They came up with something called as one unit scheme. Under one unit scheme, what Pakistani government did was, Pakistani government said that East Pakistan is one unit and West Pakistan is one unit, right, and hence both East Pakistan as well as West Pakistan will have equal number of MPs in the parliament. Now, in West Pakistan, because there were many states in West Pakistan, they all were considered as one unit as per this scheme, one unit scheme. The provincial assemblies of these states were taken away. Balochistan did not have provincial assembly for few years, and the representation in West Pakistan, because West Pakistan was considered as one unit as a whole, the representation from West Pakistan side was majorly from Punjabis and not from Baloch people, right. So, one unit scheme, it was hugely opposed by Baloch people because it was reducing their share or their representation in the political representation. So, 1950s, mid 1950s was another phase of insurgency. It was suppressed heavily by the forces of Pakistan, and for few years it is said that Balochistan was like a colony of Pakistan, right. The next phase of insurgency which erupted in Balochistan, or the political reasons responsible for it, is that in 1970, because of heavy pressure, Pakistani government, they took back one unit scheme and hence in 1970 elections were done for the provincial assembly, for the state government of Balochistan. Now in this provincial assembly, the party which formed the government, this government, it was removed. It was removed in 1973 by the central government, making the accusation or allegation that the state government or provincial government of Balochistan, it is conspiring with other foreign powers against Pakistan, right. So an elected government was removed in 1973 by the central government of Pakistan, which again led to insurgency, or the people of Balochistan started feeling that politically we have not been given our own self-rule, our own government into our own state, right. So this was another wave of insurgency in Pakistan. Another political factor responsible for it is that in 2006, one very prominent Baloch leader named as Nawab Akhtar Bukti, he was assassinated by Pakistani army, right. Now because such a popular leader who was earlier a chief minister, a governor in Balochistan, he was killed by the army of Pakistan. This event also led to huge insurgency. Now if we discuss other reasons in general, political reasons in general for insurgency in Balochistan, the other reasons are that military there in Balochistan, it is very, there is huge presence of military in Balochistan, and they treat them with very high-handedness, right. So we keep on reading the incidents of human rights violation by military there, kidnapping by military, and arrest without charges. Such kind of things are very common in Balochistan. People in Balochistan, they don't enjoy human rights like in other parts of the country, right. And lastly, another political reason is when US it started a war in Afghanistan after 9/11 attack in USA. When US started the war, the people in Afghanistan, especially the Pashtuns, the Pashtun tribe which lives at the border area of Balochistan, in fact Balochistan Afghanistan border, in fact in Balochistan also, if we see in the northern part, the majority is of Pashtun tribe, right. So Pashtuns, they started leaving Afghanistan when US invaded Afghanistan. Pashtuns, they started leaving Afghanistan and started entering into Balochistan. So much so that the capital city of Balochistan, Quetta, right, it is seen as the hub of Taliban, right. So many of Pashtuns, they entered into Balochistan, and Balochistan, they again started facing or feeling the identity crisis because of the increasing Pashtun population into Afghanistan, into Balochistan. So these are the some political reasons why people of Balochistan, they want to become independent, why do enter into such kind of acts of insurgency. The next kind of reasons for insurgency in Balochistan is economic reason. Now the first economic reason is that the share of Balochistan into the GDP of Pakistan, it is keep on declining. Balochistan, it has huge economic reserves, it has mines of gold, copper, etc. And even though it is having, and natural gas also it has in sufficient quantity, right. Even though Balochistan has so many of resources, you see Balochistan's share in the total GDP is coming down. Baloch people, they accuse that the benefit of the resources of Balochistan, they are going to Punjabis. So this is one reason. Another is resource deprivation, as we have already seen that even though Balochistan has such huge resources, it is mineral rich region of the Pakistan. The thing is, royalty from these resources are not shared enough with Balochistan. A very small percentage of the royalty is given to Balochistan. All the benefit, all the profit from the extraction of these resources are taken by the central government of Pakistan, right. So there is economic deprivation. Resources which Baloch people believe that these resources are of us are taken care by Pakistani government. The next is the Gwadar project, which Pakistan had started way back, or more than 20 years back. The thing is, in Gwadar project, the benefit of this project are not reaching to the local population. This project, it is wholly or solely managed by Pakistani government, central government, and state government or provincial government has no role to play in the development of this project. There are accusations against Pakistani bureaucrats also that they have inflated the prices here in Gwadar. They have sold the land in Gwadar at very high prices. They have indulged into corruption. And again, people of Balochistan, they are not getting benefited by this project at all. And this they also see as a medium of taking away or extracting the resources of Balochistan by Pakistanis. So you see, so Gwadar project, it has also been opposed by Baloch leaders. The next economic reason, if we see that in Balochistan, as we have seen, even though it is the biggest area wise, it is the biggest state of Pakistan, the population here is also very less. So the region of Balochistan, it is roughly 44% of the geographical region of Pakistan. But if you see in terms of population, Balochistan's population is merely 5% of total population of Pakistan. But even though population is very less, the IMR in Balochistan is highest. The maternal mortality rate, that is also highest in Balochistan only. Poverty rate, that is also highest in Balochistan only. So Balochistan, which is a resource rich region, but it suffers from huge poverty, high maternal mortality rate, high infant mortality rate, and hence basically benefits of development are not reaching to the people of Balochistan. And lastly, the literacy rate is also lowest in Balochistan. So these are economic reasons why people of Balochistan, they feel betrayed, they feel that their resource or benefit of their resource is not reaching to them but to other parts of the country. And lastly, between Baloch and other Pakistani people, there is ethnic and cultural differences as well. Especially Baloch people, they feel that there is domination of Punjabis, because Punjabis are maximum in population in Pakistan. All federal agencies, they have very huge representation of or they are dominated by Punjabis. So if you see the parliament of Pakistan, if you see the military, the very strong institution of Pakistan, in military also there is domination of Punjabis. Military, there is heavy presence of military into Balochistan as well, and because of the tribal conflict as well, the way military handles the situation in Balochistan, it is very or they deal it with high handedness. So Punjabi domination not overall on Punjab as well as in Balochistan, this is something which is opposed by Baloch people. Then they also have difference with Pashtuns, as we have seen that Pashtuns of North Balochistan as well as Pashtuns from Afghanistan, they have entered into Balochistan in large numbers, and again because of ethnic and cultural differences between two, there will be quite a rift between the Baloch people and Pashtuns. So these are many reasons because of which insurgency we see in Balochistan. Baloch basically want to become, or Baloch people, they want to become a separate country, right? They want to get secede from Pakistan, they want to make their own country. Now let's see what is the angle, what is the reaction, or what are the interests of other major players in the region in Balochistan. So if we talk about China, one major country which has interest in Balochistan, China under its CPEC, China Pakistan Economic Corridor, which is one of the project under BRI, Belt and Road Initiative. China has invested very heavily into Pakistan under CPEC, more than $60 billion. More than $60 billion has been invested by China into Pakistan under CPEC project. A large part of CPEC project, including Gwadar, it lies in Balochistan province of China. China is worrying because of the insurgency situation in Balochistan. Their investment is at risk in Pakistan. So that is one concern for China. Another thing is, if Gwadar is developed fully, if using Gwadar, China can get access to Indian Ocean, right? So as we have seen the location of Gwadar port, Gwadar port, it is somewhere here in Balochistan, right? So China, it can get access to Balochistan or to Indian Ocean using Gwadar port. So CPEC passes through Pakistan. In fact, it also passes through POK, Pakistan Occupied Kashmir, because of which India also opposes to CPEC. So I hope it is clear that through Gwadar, China can get access to Indian Ocean. Another concern for Pakistan because of insurgency in Balochistan is that right now in Balochistan there are so many Chinese nationals who are working for CPEC project. Now these people, their safety is at risk. Sometimes Baloch people, Baloch insurgents, they intentionally target to Chinese nationals only, so that China does not invest or China hesitate to do its activities in Balochistan. So this is what is the, from China's point of view, China wants insurgency to reduce, to stop in Balochistan, because they have invested heavily under CPEC. Now if we talk about USA, the current government in USA, the Donald Trump administration, they to some extent they are pro the former Prime Minister Imran Khan. So they, the government of USA, present government, they want the present government in Pakistan, the Sharif government, Shehbaz Sharif's government, to release Imran Khan from jail. Imran Khan has been jailed, in jail in Pakistan, and even the last year's election in 2024, Imran Khan was in jail only when the federal elections were done, right? In fact, if you have gone through the newspaper a few days back, 2-3 days back only, a bipartisan bill has been brought to the US, House of Representatives, US Congress, where the bipartisan bill means that bill has been proposed by leaders or MPs of both the parties, Democrats as well as Republicans, where they want the military general, General Asim Munir of Pakistan to be, or sanctions to be imposed on General Munir of Pakistan because of human rights violation concerns in Pakistan. They say that former PM Imran Khan, he has also been jailed illegally, and there are huge human rights violation into Pakistan, and hence they want to enact Global Magnitsky Human Rights Accountability Act of USA, to use this act against the General Munir as well. So I hope USA right now, it is slightly more tilted towards the former PM Imran Khan's party, and they want insurgency in Balochistan to be reduced. They want that the army in Balochistan not to use the army of Pakistan, which is there in Balochistan, not to use, they should not be very high-handedly using the situation there in Balochistan. Now if we talk about India, so Pakistan, it blames India, that India is behind the insurgency in Balochistan. So India supports, India gives them weapon, India gives them money for insurgency in, even though they have not been able to give enough support, enough proof for the same, but they blame India. Pakistan blames India for insurgency in Balochistan. On the other hand, the official position of the government of India is that we have nothing to do with the insurgency in Balochistan. It is an internal matter of Pakistan, right? And because the people of Balochistan, they are suffering under Pakistan's rule, they are doing this kind of insurgency activities. India has nothing to do with it. But even if we see it objectively, that in foreign or in international relations, one policy which most of the governments they apply is that if you have an enemy, it is very essential that you strengthen your own power to counter your enemy. But what you can also do is you can try to weaken your enemy itself. So there are two ways to deal with your enemy. One is to increase your power. Another way is to weaken the power of your enemy. So if Balochistan or insurgency in Balochistan rises, it is somehow good for India's interest. Reason being, it makes Pakistan weak. If Pakistan becomes weak, then India can deal with Pakistan, which is an enemy state to India, in a more efficient or better manner. So right, and in fact, if Balochistan somehow is able to get independence, right, India will be benefiting in many sense. You can see it here that through Balochistan, if Balochistan becomes a separate country, right, so through Balochistan, firstly, India can have access to Afghanistan. Right now, India is not able to trade with Afghanistan. Reason being that we don't have, or Afghanistan is a landlocked country, and to trade with Afghanistan, we need permission from Pakistan to use their land. So which Pakistan denies. If Balochistan becomes a separate country, using the sea or the coast of Balochistan, we can enter into Afghanistan. So that is one. We will be able to trade with Afghanistan, and through Afghanistan later on with Central Asian countries, right. That will be one benefit. Another will be, we will be able to reduce the presence of China into Pakistan. So China, which has invested heavily into Balochistan, because Balochistan will become an independent, if Balochistan becomes an independent country, the investment of China will go waste, and China, which is right now having almost de facto rule over Gwadar port, that also will be taken away. So India has many benefit if the insurgency situation in Balochistan leads to independence of Balochistan, but India says that we have no role to play. This is an internal matter of Pakistan. People of Balochistan, they are struggling, or they are fighting for their own cause, and India has nothing to do with. So I hope through this video you have understood what are the reasons behind insurgency in Balochistan, right. So there are political reasons, there are ethnic cultural reasons, there are economic reasons as well, and what are the implications of Baloch insurgency on China, on India, and what is the view right now of USA regarding Baloch insurgency. If you have liked this video, please do share, subscribe this channel. Thank you so much.